Thank you very much. My name is Keith Hillock. I am your neighbor, your friend. I live over here on Pine Haven Road. I understand everything we go through here. Been a project manager, worked in the energy industry close to 40 years almost. In that time frame, I've been in everything from the nuclear industry to oil and gas industries. I know how to work projects. I promise you, there's not one project that our community has that will go unmet, unfinanced, and will move forward a little bit better. Well, that's what I do, and we can do that for you. So I want you to understand, when it comes to Mr. Munoz had mentioned about appropriations, money that he says he's giving you, capital outlay, it's not his money to give you, it's not his. We get how government will work. He will get some money that he can dish out to where it goes. Most of it doesn't come into Gallup or McKinley County. He's given very little. Thank you, Mr. Munoz, for supporting the community in that way. I can promise you, you'll get the same support, appropriations, capital outlay. If you need help filling out that capital outlay, I'm happy to help you. Wesley Billingsley, the capital outlay director, he'll be happy to help you as well, or I'll get you in touch with them. No money will go unmet, none of your needs. With that said, he talked a little bit about his financing, chairs. How that works is, well, he's coming up for election. Certain chairs get a lot of donations. If you're head of the finance chair, as he is, well, you know he's coming up for election. That means a lot of people are gonna give him some donations. I handed out a little flyer to you. In there are his donations. If you turn through it, you'll be able to see everything just for the first report over the last few months. He's got close to 500,000 in there now, a little over. When we're all done with this campaign, he'll have well over $1 million. I want to make sure you get the #1 contributions. Because I can guarantee you when I get done, all those guys are going to want to donate to him. So how that works is, the money he's getting is just, he's being bought. He's being bought from different contractors, different oil industries. How can you make a clear choice for your community when the money's coming from elsewhere? He's being bought by these organizations. If you look at, I mentioned oil and gas earlier. I love oil and gas. I've worked it most of my life. I see how things can be done a little bit differently, safer. I did sign a pledge on the back of that. We all rely on diesel out this way, that's for sure. I'm not a big electric car person. However, things can be done differently. I did pledge, I will not take any oil and gas money. You can't make a wise decision when you put across a bill. I don't want to be owned by somebody. So a lot of these companies, you get owned by them if they donate to you. I'm going to start getting a little bit off track. Okay, so I've already shown you in there what his donations are. Some of it's pharmaceutical. We end up paying higher prices in our pharmaceutical stuff. Well, how can you donate, try to bring down lower prices when they're already asking you to kill a bill? It's easy they'll sponsor bills, but he'll kill it in committee, as he's done many times. Well, that's because he's bought. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna open up one more little thing here, because I know I only got 10 minutes. I'm sorry I spoke so long yesterday. You can find yesterday's Man the Leader on YouTube meeting. I'm gonna go to a little bill, Senate Bill 162. That should be your second page. It was in the handout. That is a sponsored bill by Mr. Munoz. And what that talks about is, basically anyone here but bounce a check, you know, you underdraw, don't answer. I don't want anyone to get embarrassed, but I'll answer. I've done that before. What that bill says is, the State Department, the head of the department gets a draw from the government, and well, he wants to fire that person, having insufficient funds in their account, or the person responsible. You could read it through yourself. So basically, if you don't know what's in your bank account, well, that person could get fired for up to 5 years and fined, and a misdemeanor crime, I believe he wants it to be. It never went anywhere. No other legislator would take it. It's dead. If you go to the next page, on the back side of that page, you're gonna find a Mr. Munoz Corporation on there. What a Mr. Munoz Corporation wanted to do is, anyone here understand what a small business enterprise is, women-owned, minority-owned, things of that nature? There's a thing called disadvantage. We could call him Mr. Disadvantage. He wants that status of being disadvantaged. Even though he's millions of dollars, Daddy's giving him millions of dollars. He still wants that status of being called disadvantaged. What that will do is, if they have a little bit of a program for disadvantaged, XYZ over here, you want a little small business, you can get that status. But you have to have under $1.32 million in your bank account. Nobody in the world is ever gonna apply for a status of being disadvantaged, minority-owned, native-owned, anything, unless you actually qualify. Unless you could be a little sneaky to say you find your way in there, you never know. You don't go through, it's a gut-punching paperwork, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in accounting fees. I know, I work for a native-owned company, and I help them get those statuses from 8A. What he went ahead and did, he applied. If you turn to the next page, well, on that first page, it'll say he was denied. The Department of Transportation denied him. Well, he wants to call himself disadvantaged. What that is if you go to the next page, it tells you what qualifies to be disadvantaged. And that is, he got denied for personal net worth. It'll say PNW. I gave you the definition of PNW. If he has under $1.32 million in his personal account, you don't qualify. That doesn't count the millions in real estate. It doesn't count your equity in your home. That's just what you got in your bank account. So either he went ahead, didn't realize how many millions he was worth, or he went ahead and he lied. It's one of two things. Either way, by his own bill, 162 that denied, he's the only sponsor, but I'm sure he'll live up to it. He'd be fired for 5 years by his own words and his own definition of a bill he tried to pass. I'm gonna go ahead and take a drink in a second. My throat's starting to get dressed. The other option is, if he lied, that's filing a federal form, 5 years in prison. It's a federal crime. Don't know if that happened. I can tell you there are people that do know. Thank you, goodness. Just some of the shady things. That's equivalent to somebody in here making $300,000 and I'm going to file for food stamps. I'm gonna take more resources away from you. It gets to a point where the greed gets too much. And we're well beyond that right now. When you try to take projects away from people, smaller people that really are disadvantaged, that's not right. And it needs to be exposed. And that is what I plan on doing. I plan on exposing all the fraud. I don't have a big enough truck to bring all the paperwork. I can give you a little bit, and that's all I need. But let's talk a little bit about myself now. I'll talk to you a little bit about George. We'll go back to George a little bit later. I'm your neighbor. I live on Pine Haven Road. Call me anytime. You have my cell phone number, it's on the page. I don't care if you're stuck in the mud. You guys got long driveways, you gotta get groceries up there. You need to get plowed out. I know when I was gone away in the oil fields, some of you neighbors helped my wife. We were flooded. I'm that little yellow house down there on Pine Haven Road, and I always had water coming in. The neighbors came to our rescue. I live right across from Lester Yazzie, the Yazzies. Georgia Merrill, the old, used to be a little laundromat gas station over there. I have that little yellow house now. Love it, love my neighbors. We moved here, opened up Hojo Academy. Anybody here know Hojo Academy? I think some of you might have kids that even go there. Well, we came here to bring a lot of things in the education system that was needed in the community. People wanted to change. And we are the fastest growing, highest numbers graded charter school in the state. And we're just growing. I found out yesterday, I didn't realize it, when a lot of people ask questions about farming. And I'm like, my wife's The kids are mandatory to take farming at our school, so they take indigenous gardening, they call it. I told them, well, people want to have, you know, a little bit of agriculture and other things, cattle and other things. So they're working on that, but right now, mandatory K to 6 that we do teach, native gardening. I think they call it indigenous, I can't remember, but we brought things from truth, integrity, that's what Hojo is, balance. We want our youth. We talk about caring, we start caring about the youth. Where's it gonna be 10 years from now? And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to change the community, starting with the youth, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. But what's gonna be most important is keeping the youth here. We'll take our time, I'll invest in them, because I do care. I want my grandkids to come here. And well, actually, they're born in my house, my grandkids. Because we'll get to that a little later, resources in the area. But we're trying to build a future of teaching our kids respect, honor, integrity, love our police, love our military. Those are the things we're bringing to this community. And I will continue bringing that to the State House. But what we have right now is, some of you might not have it on there, but right now, under our leadership over the last couple of decades, worst crime in the entire state. You could look at my webpage. Some of you might have a link on it. I went ahead and I don't have the $500,000 for budgeting. I can barely pay to get these here out to you guys. There is a link on the back of this one here. We are the worst crime in the entire state under our leadership. We have the worst education system right now in the entire nation under our current leadership. If you were to look at, this one's an important one to me. Our actual, how old we live. The average age, 67, worst in the nation. There's only one place in this nation that has a life expectancy lower. That'd be the Lakota tribe up in South Dakota. One of the worst in the nation. And why? A lot of it's our environment. I love my water. I love my wildlife. I love nature. And another reason why I don't want to take a lot of money, because I want to protect those things, where a lot of big industries don't want that. So we can do things safer, a little bit safer, that's all we're asking. I can tell you later on, Republicans are gonna say different things. There's a lot of bills out there that the Democrats push, but they get distorted. It's not really what, we just want things to be a little bit safer. I love clean energy. I'm a huge nuclear fan. It's a lot safer than it was back in the 70s. But it has, even nuclear, they went ahead and destroyed many communities. I've worked with some of that, the reasons why those communities got destroyed, because I worked in the nuclear field with that. I won't go into things, but I did nuclear oversight for electrical quality control. Some of that was with RCPs, reactor coolant pumps. We'll get back into, we can talk later anytime over coffee, but for right now, I got 10 minutes to tell you, I am an environmental friend. I will make sure that we have our clean water, and I will not let the oil companies or another refinery be abandoned like Marathon is. But how can we get it cleaned up? I don't know. George took $5,000 from them. Well, that's just one time. You'll see several other donations here and there, even going way back into his last campaign. Right now we have uranium killing us. We have coal. I love coal though. It can burn cleaner. It's so much nicer now compared to when. But it was after Aaron Brockovich where there's things you could do safer. Whether you cover up your load, what really killed a lot of us was the coal ash. It's the waste of coal ash. I know, I've worked in many coal electrical plants. How are we on time? Am I on my time? All right. I'm about out. All right, I'll wrap it up. Right now we got uranium mines, we got coal mines, we got an oil field, oil refinery. We still got Wingate. A lot of that has to be cleaned up. I want to get that stuff cleaned up. Our kids are important. It matters to us. You guys matter to us. We need longer longevity, and those are the types of things I will fight for, to bring a longer longevity, and things that matter to the children and the families. I do have another time. You can follow me on YouTube, follow me on my Facebook. You can listen to my podcast. I will talk about other things later on, about how we can do things a little bit better. Any questions at all, because I will answer all of those for you. Or just come on by for a cup of coffee in the morning. I'm over here at 211 Pine Haven. You're all welcome. Everyone has my number. Or if someone wants to sit by the fire and have a beer with me, we can chit chat anytime. We're neighbors. I didn't mention anything today about veteran status. I am a veteran. I notice he likes to bring around veterans and they talk a lot. Are you a veteran, sir?
Water.
No? Okay. All set?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much.
Okay.
Mr. President, is Mr. Hudson here? Mr. President?
Good afternoon. Jay Bahasi, Christopher Hudson.
Hang on. Order. Mr. Hillock, I'd like to remind you respectfully that culturally, we don't go over the line
Okay.
about any accusations. I ran for a special election and I said nothing bad about my opponents. So we'd like to, I know that you're gonna be going to different chapters, so be reminded that culturally we don't bash our leaders.
Okay, yes, I appreciate that.
Well,
I promise, I apologize. I won't make any accusations. These are just facts that are out there on the internet. I'll present facts, and the people deserve the facts. I apologize if I insulted
Thank you.
anybody. Thank you.
Yate Aran Hano Yagi do Kakina Bishop Mufino Yate answer shot I got after Penanke ya this key is Christopher Hudson ya the district 9 G with the say at photo this key I could not eat Kanan George do Aro ya Aro the Health Alliance got funded down then you talk was not the Nakako. In a red sign those two batas, and give a point now, a point this, a compass by your kid, Nicoji, Chatanap, and Lineage Chicago, Jato, Ajpakan, not yet had the a district at the child at the York, Noya, and I cut the hours, not like Kilinaki. The say I followed for everyone cut the raho. Ede yung yan pa hadis ito ya kasha taho I do kasha pan dito kahit hata has kay kito jun kitchen season ko ya nas ko ya on because aro ya on this no he ko ya ni gabi ka ko siya she student ke church rep chat house this no aro ya ko kai ko siya hadis no na to shi ne to do because aro do na ki ha to be ta na to ede bin yan ni khani do in general, I back in 1990 at that senior citizenship at the Gianni Danish Hospital, but I don't suffer employment, summer youth students, the kind of English don't that is Hadoshi, that's what she begot in that. I live in Jewish, I don't like that.
Okay.